Living on the road, my friend, will keep you free and clean. They wear your skin like armor. Your voice is hard as kerosene. You weren't your mama's only boy, but her favorite one, it seems. She began to cry the day you said goodbye. Fade into your dream. Pancho was a bandit boy. His horse as fast as polished steel. The words got outside his camp for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, the deserts down in Mexico. Nobody heard his dying word. That's the way it goes. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long. Out of kindness, I suppose. Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bit down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid old Pancho low, Lefty spit for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Ain't nobody knows. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long. Out of kindness, I suppose. Always tell how Pancho fell. And Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. The desert's white and Cleveland's cold. So the story ends are told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true, but save a few for Lefty too. He only did what he had to do. Now he's growing old. All the federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him slip away. Out of kindness, I suppose. A few great federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long. I suppose.
Mike Thompson.
And that was Pancho and Lefty, a rendition by the Blues Cowboys, a local blues country band. This is the Lori and Carlin Show. My name is Carlin Hagerty.
And I'm Lori Graves.
And we are on GoneRogueRadio.com. Tonight's show is pre-recorded because it will be broadcast on Thursday, April 2nd, and we are going to be celebrating Lori's comedy anniversary.
Yes, we are at the Dock at Water here in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Lori's got an incredible lineup. She's got the really funny and dirty Katrina Brown's headlining.
Love her, love her.
Oh, she's a tramp. I love it. She's married, she's faithful, but she's the most faithful tramp you'll ever meet.
Hopefully we can get an interview with her after the show on April 2nd. We'll be able to put it in to a show in the following week so you guys can get a chance to see how hilarious she is. If you can't come to the show or met her, look her up online. Her name's Katrina Brown from Northeast Ohio. Hilarious lady, hilarious.
We've got a pretty good show lined up tonight. We've got 5 questions with Son. He goes by Uncle Buck. He's the bass player for the Blues Cowboys. He is the proprietor of Uncle Buck's Riding Stable in New Marshfield, Ohio. You can find him online at unclebucksstable.com. That's unclebucksstable.com. Check him out. It's always a good time. Lori's done a couple shows out there. I've done a couple shows out there. He's a good dude.
He's a good dude. I love that place. I love it.
We all do.
Even though if you're a city person and you're driving into Uncle Buck's, don't be alarmed by the dirt roads and the trees. Our friend Leslie came down from Columbus and thought she was going to get lynched while she was out there. But once she got there, she realized it was a cool place. It looks like you're going into where you're going to get duct taped and tied up somewhere, but not. It's really a great place. It's cool people.
It is. It's a great place, cool, but you really have to go to get there. It's not somewhere you buy and stop in. I mean, you have to go to that place.
Well, you have to find it, and when you find it, then you realize why it's kind of secret because you have such an awesome time there.
Yeah.
We don't want everybody to know about it, okay? We're trying to keep it secret.
Exactly. Great place for a day trip. Go out there. They have horses to ride. They've got a saloon. They've got the best barbecue in the woods. Pretty good stuff. And speaking of trips, Lori, did you just come back from a trip last weekend?
Oh, yes. I went to Indianapolis. Did a little show over there. My friends went with me. We had a great time. We had a girl trip. I took 3 of my friends and Sharon with me. And let's just say that night I made a tweet. I said 1 friend puked, 1 friend cried, 1 friend ate Hostess cupcakes, and I sat there sober. That was pretty much the end of the evening.
I'm getting texts from you going, and this one did this, and this one did that. And you weren't mad or anything. You were just reporting
it. Was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention names of who did what. You can figure that out for yourself. Let me just say that one of my friends was so drunk. We went to a bar. We paid $20 for a cab ride to this bar. Everybody said that's where to go. I think it was called Kilroy's, I think. That's the place to go. It's the place to be. We get to Kilroy's. I was there 8 minutes. Didn't even get a beer. Went to the bathroom and came out. And my other friend said, "We've got to go." Our one friend got us kicked out. She didn't even. She was so drunk they made us leave.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
But then this one little girl came in the bar, and the one bartender looked at her and said, "Your pants are too tight. How did you get in here?" And another girl they wouldn't let in because she had holes in her pants. So I don't know what kind of place this was. I mean, I didn't know that you could keep somebody out of a bar for having their pants too tight. If that was the case in Chillicothe, a lot of bitches staying home. A lot of bitches staying home on that. Yeah.
Save the toe. Save the toe.
No shit. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that bar was anti-toe. I don't think. And we were so out of. I mean, me and the Sharon walk in.
Yeah.
We're easily 20 and 40 years older. No wonder they kicked the old women out because one of them was too drunk. We were like the sore freaking thumbs in that crowd.
Is that right?
They're like, "Oh look, there's old people. One of them's drunk. Kick them out." I think they pegged us. I think it was age discrimination. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Speaking of which, I just want to go off track for a second. Tonight's show is going to have a little different sound. Tara Steiner, Tara Gillum, the owner of Steiner's Speakeasy, actually trusts us around her customers and allowed us in the bar while it was open. So you'll hear a little background noise because this is a functioning pub and speakeasy, and people are using it for what it's intended for. They're drinking beer and enjoying themselves.
We thought the background noise might sound kind of edgy and grainy, maybe.
Or at least as long as nobody screams out obscenities or we don't hear like a date rape in progress will be fine. So.
Right, we'll break that up. But if somebody screams out obscenities, I might let them on the air. I don't know. We might have to talk to them. I don't know. I've been looking around the bar to find that one real drunk guy, the interview. I don't know, Carlin. We could make this happen. I don't know.
I'm all about that. Let's go back to the bar. You guys were the old ladies that got kicked out.
We were the old ladies that get kicked out. We still had a great night, though. We had a good time. I do want to give a shout out to our last cab driver of the evening, Felix from Senegal. When Tara approached the cab and asked him to take us back to our hotel, in hindsight, he probably wishes he would have said no. Felix had master reflexes, and when he did hear my one friend gagging, I've never seen a cab driver whip off the side of the road so fast and produce a plastic bag out of nowhere. I was the man. I'm pretty sure Tara overtipped him, which was lovely, but he was a great guy, and he did know, and he didn't get mad at us or get hateful. I mean, he saw the situation. I think he saw we were older.
It's nice dealing with a professional, isn't it?
Exactly, but like I said, good for you, Felix. I've never seen anybody whip a plastic bag out that fast for a puking adult in my life. I'm just kind of happy because even after the Marietta situation a couple weeks ago, I didn't get kicked out. I'm 43 and I got kicked out of a bar. Not that I did anything, but I still kind of feel kind of hip about that. I
Oh,
feel
hell
like,
yeah. It's like a badge of honor.
And the fact that I just used the word hip probably dates me. It probably is,
It's like me and my fake henna tattoos.
You have fake henna tattoos. I don't
No, I
want to
don't.
see.
No, I
please
don't.
No.
No.
Because I was with you in your birthday celebration, and I don't recall anyone doing that to you.
No.
Although you did leave me for a while and go off to your hotel room.
Well, I had to.
I know. Duty called, and it was
Yeah,
your birthday.
exactly.
But hey, man, didn't you do something fun Saturday?
I sure did. I stayed in Chillicothe. I went over to the dock at Water, and our friends, the Blues Cowboys, were playing. David McPherson, Mikey Thompson, David Leach, and John Wetzel make it. And if you have not seen these guys, you need to get out and see them. They are just friggin' amazing. I saw them, I think they started at 9, and I finally left at 12:30. I wanted to go home at 11, but I was near death, so you know how that goes. But anyway,
So it was fun. Was it packed? The dock usually is a good crowd.
the dock is a great crowd. It was packed. I got to dance a few songs. It was a birthday party for my friend Rabbit and his wife. So I danced with her, and I'm sure that was a highlight of her birthday, or not. There's video footage of that I'm going to post on our Lori and Carlin website.
I
so
must
check
see
that.
this.
Yes. Also, just a shameless plug, lncshow@yahoo.com. Please send us feedback, story ideas, funny stories. We still have yet to give away our fabulous prizes, so
Yeah, and if you've just got a funny drunk story or a bar story about here in town,
we're all about it.
yeah, let us know. If we think it's really hilarious, maybe we'll invite you on the show.
We can do that. If you've got a funny story, I'm a sick man. I belong to a group on Facebook. One of the rules for entrance into this group, it's a private group, you have to tell a poop story.
A poop story?
So there's 156 people in this private
So what you're
group.
saying is you're in a shit group.
No, not
Oh,
at all. It has
okay.
nothing at all to do with that. Just
Okay.
that's one of the entrance fees. We want to go back to the Indy trip, but also what else did you do this weekend, Lori?
What I did this week? Oh, this weekend. I was a bartender up at Bishop Leger on Saturday. They had their annual spring fling.
Awesome.
Had a great time up there. They raised a lot of money for the school. I mean, even though it's a Catholic school, even the people pay tuition. It still is a private school.
I didn't
And-
ask you, was the lady you introduced us, was she there? She's a big supporter of Bishop Leger.
Mary Putnam was in charge of the event. Mary
Is that
Putnam was
right?
the organizer, and she did a great job. They had blackjack, and they did a reverse raffle. Some people won a lot of money. They had games going on. They had free appetizers. They had cheap drinks at the bar. I want to give a shout out to Zach Kingsolver for helping me at the bar. He works here at a local establishment, and he did get some kind of flack for taking a night off to work. But, that's neither here nor there because it was a great event. He helped out his community. They also had a silent auction table, and all of the money from that went to the Old family who recently lost their home in a fire.
Oh, my.
So for him to get grief about taking a night off for his community and help out, that's neither here nor there. We all know what kind of place that is.
Yeah.
But we also know what kind of person Zach is.
Yeah,
And
Zach's a
did
good
the right
dude.
thing, yeah.
He does the right thing. And he's just a damn good bartender. I mean,
He is.
he's
He's
fun.
a great guy, and he's pretty.
Uh-huh,
The women, and
sure.
I was more than happy to get Zach to come in and let them look at him.
Speaking of bartenders, we're going to get our friend Bradley to come over and talk to us in a little bit.
Yes, Bradley Jablin is holding the fort down here at Steiner's Speakeasy tonight. He's a great friend of mine. Bradley's done some Broadway. He's in the theater. He's in here in Chillicothe now doing his thing. But Bradley's got some good stories, and we're going to hit him up later and have him tell us some stories.
Well, he's definitely, I don't want to say flamboyant because that's just hacky to say, a gay man's flamboyant. But Bradley is awesome. He is out there. He has much emotion. He's a lot of fun. I like
So you
Bradley.
just outed Bradley on GoneRoadRadio.com. That's okay. He's a proud gay man. He'll appreciate that.
Well, I didn't think it was a secret. I don't think it's a slam or derogatory, so.
I just didn't think you'd have to mention he was gay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well-
But that just shows you how Carlin is.
Well, that's my
yeah.
small-mindedness, not
Yeah, exactly.
anything else. So that's how that
I do
works.
want to also give a shout out to our brewery of the week this week. We stayed with Jackie O's because they just did a tap takeover here at Steiner's. I am drinking a lovely dark beer called Smoke Ya Oats, and Carlin
What's
is
up?
enjoying. There's Bradley right now. Bradley, come here.
Bradley.
Carlin is also drinking a can of Mystic Mama. Bradley, we were just going to tell you, the audience, that you're going to be with us later on.
Yes.
So Bradley, say hi to Gone Road
Hello.
Radio. Called you as a gay man.
Who told?
Yeah. So I just
I
want to
thought
know
it was
that-
your impeccable clothes.
Dave.
Yes, Bradley has awesome taste. So we're going to be with Bradley here at the end of the show. We're going to have him tell us some stories, some funny stories.
I'm for it.
All right.
So where were we?
we were talking about, you just introduced our beer to Jackie
Yes.
O's, Mystic Mama, Smoky Oats. I talked about Indianapolis.
Yes. Bishop Leger.
And we talked about Bishop Leger raising money. We're talking about all kinds of things. And don't you have an interview coming up?
I sure do. We're going to go ahead and air the interview that I did with Dave McPherson, Uncle Buck from the Blues Cowboys. We got to see him last Saturday over at the Dock at Water, and I caught him right before the show. And he's gracious. He's an awesome dude. And one of the things that really just cracks me up about Dave is he is scared to death of public speaking. He was just trembling, and he was pale as could be. He's a public figure, but he just petrified.
Well, I know musicians that are afraid because if they don't have their instrument with them, it's kind of like a shield to the public.
Yeah.
So they get kind of freaked out about it.
See you later, man. Have a good night.
See you later. Good night. Good
Drive
talking
safe,
to you.
brother. But
And that's one of the things we said would happen here tonight. We'll just see people going by and they'll say hi to us and goodbye, so that's okay.
Yeah.
We might do this every week. We should do this for the crowd.
And if we can pick out somebody that looks sufficiently weird or funny, we'll grab them and make them talk to us for a few minutes.
Yeah, and they'll have no idea that we're making fun of them.
Perfect.
It'd be perfect. So anyway, back to Dave.
Yeah, Dave, love the guy, but and like you said, musicians hide behind their instruments and their band members. Every musician I've ever talked to just can't believe how I can do stand-up. They said that'd be scary. And
I think it would be scary to be on stage and sing and play an instrument.
Well, certainly.
I mean, even if that was something that I did, it was like I still think, I don't know, I just think it'd be scary to like sing. I mean, what if you forgot the words? Because when you're a comic, if you forget like a thing to your joke, you can just make shit up and
exactly.
No one knows. But if you're playing a cover song,
they are expecting a level of expertise.
People know the words of that song. They want to hear that song.
They want you to be professional. They want you to be on the instrument. If we had to play an instrument or we had to sing, we're dead in the water.
I couldn't do it. Yeah, I couldn't do it.
But it's so funny because they say that they couldn't do what we do. They're all petrified.
So, yeah, entertainment. We're a messed up breed of people, but we all get along.
That's exactly right. And I don't know so much about Lori because Lori's a pretty normal person. She's a little on the bitch side, but that's okay. But
he called me normal.
Yeah. but most comedians have issues, we're all broken. Whether it was drugs, alcohol, combination of drugs and alcohol, bad family life, your family did drugs and alcohol, whatever. There's always something going on.
Why you always got to blame the fun stuff, Carlin?
Yeah.
I mean, they could have had a jacked up grandpa or something.
Yeah,
you don't know. You don't know. Somebody could have had a shitty prom dress or a prom night. Could have made him, be a comic. You don't know that.
If a shitty prom dress alters someone's life, then they do have problems.
Have you seen some of these bitches in these prom dresses? I don't know what. Well, did you even have prom when you were in school?
Did I even have prom when I was in school? I'm not that much older than you, so let's just not start.
Were they wearing the big hoop skirts back then, like Gone with the Wind?
Yeah, the poodle skirts okay,
or
whatever.
was it feed sacks? I don't know. Where were you, Carlin? Where were you?
I went to Benton County High School, so.
Feed sacks. All right, okay.
Whatever.
So who you got? You got Dave coming up for an interview?
Yeah, got Dave coming up. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the berating of me by Lori for a few minutes, and we're going to go to 5 questions with Uncle Buck. And we are outside the Dock at Water a couple hours before showtime with a very good friend of mine, Mr. David Uncle Buck McPherson. He is the bass player for the Blues Cowboys. Dave, how are you tonight?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you, Carlin?
Just fine. We've got an innocent bystander, Mr. Jared Sims. How are you, Jared?
Doing good, guys.
Dave, just a quick 5 questions with you. How long have you been playing music?
My God, all my life.
All your life. That's a long time.
And I'll be 62 here in a few weeks, so yeah, that's a lot of years.
Wow.
I actually had my first band when I was in the 7th grade and played professionally for $1 a piece at a school dance. I was actually playing in bars before I graduated from high school.
Before you were old enough to get into the bar?
Before I was old enough to get in the bar legally.
Awesome. What made you get started, Dave?
Just love of music.
Just the love of music.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely true. If you go to Uncle Buck's riding stable in New Marshville, Ohio, that is apparent everywhere. Dave loves music, and he's got an eclectic taste. You'll find everything from Hendrix to some old Waylon and Willie to you might even hear a Blues Cowboys CD or not. Dave, during your time playing, what was your favorite gig you've played, you think?
Oh, that's tough because I've played a lot of really good ones.
Well, I'm going to tell you
probably the last one I ever played.
The last one was your favorite one.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorites that I've heard you play, and it's a couple years in the running, ongoing, is your music for Miss Vicky when you pay tribute to your sister.
Right. That's always a big time favorite. Yeah.
Well, it's just fun because every drop of music comes straight from everybody's soul. It's real.
Yeah, that's right.
It really is. How about the worst gig you've ever played, Dave?
I had a friend call me one time. Somebody had a gig and wanted him to come up and play, and it was a place called the Trade Winds in Parkersburg, a little dive down on the river. And we threw a band together and went up there, and we played the first set, and it was so bad that the bar owner actually offered to pay us if we left. So that was probably, the worst in terms of how bad we sounded. I didn't mind getting paid and getting off early for the night. But
so do you think you got a chance of that tonight?
I hope not.
Only if they've heard you.
Yeah.
Hey, one more question. I'll let you get out of here. During the time you've played music, which has spanned quite a long time, what has changed the most about music and music gigs in the music industry?
Well, sure hasn't been the pay scale. That's pretty much been the same since I started.
I've heard a predominant theme of that with everybody I've interviewed for 5 questions. So just the money's not going up, but you're paying more for beer than you did before.
Paying more for beer, paying more for equipment.
Wow.
Paying more for gas.
Wow. Hey, listen, we're going to get out of here, but this has been 5 questions with Uncle Buck, David McPherson. Look for Uncle Buck's Riding Stable. What's the website?
It's unclebuckstable.com.
unclebuckstable.com on the internet, and you can catch him in New Marshfield, Ohio. The Blues Cowboys are going to rock the joint tonight. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And that was David Uncle Buck McPherson, bass player for the Blues Cowboys. Love that guy.
Love him.
And you know what's really cool is he brought up the fact changing in music, and he brought it up, the same thing that we've heard before, is that the money hasn't changed. He said people are still getting paid the same for gigs they were 20 years ago. And we've heard that from comedians, so that really doesn't make me feel too excited about my calling. We're not ever going to get rich, Lori.
We're not, no.
But we love it, so we'll continue to do it.
Just as long as I can, buy beer here at Steiner's, I'll be happy.
Awesome. Speaking of idiots, I got a chance to talk to 2 of my favorite idiots, Jay Snyder and Jonathan Craig, and we're also going to throw a little bit of the daywalker, Marcus Oglesby, in there.
Oh, yeah.
We did a show in University of Rio Grande, and went pretty well. And this is what these idiots had to say. And I keep saying idiots because they won't listen.
Don't talk about Jonathan like that.
Why?
Because he's my friend.
This is 5 Questions with Jay, Jonathan, and Marcus.
And I am here with 5 questions with Marcus Oglesby and Jonathan Craig. Jay Snyder is somewhere. He will be back. He's apparently conducting some business in the parking lot. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we just completed a show at the University of Rio Grande in Rio Grande, Ohio. And I'm going to go ahead and start the questions out with Marcus Oglesby. Marcus, how long have you been doing comedy?
I've been doing it a little less than 4 years now, man.
A little 4 years, okay.
Yeah. Right, we started almost the same time, didn't we?
Well, I don't like to tell people that because you're so much better than me, so. Anyway, Jonathan, how long have you been doing comedy?
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years, wow, okay. So every time I do somebody who has the same amount of experience as me, it just tears me apart because you guys are so much more advanced than me. You guys do a great job. I really enjoy watching you guys work and working with you. It's fun.
Thanks, Carlin.
You're very welcome. How'd you get started, Marcus?
I got started after just wanting to do it for several years. I just wrote for a little while and then found an open mic and jumped up there. It wasn't a dare or anything. I took took some family with me.
Awesome.
There were 5 people in the crowd. I bought 3 of them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Jonathan? How'd you get started?
I've always wanted to do it. I started writing when I was like 19. I wrote for about 10 years and then realized I had enough material to do it and decided to do it.
Awesome. Jay Snyder, how did you get started in comedy?
My wife told me I was funny. I said, to hell with it, I'm going to give it a shot.
Awesome. Awesome. How long have you been doing comedy?
It'll be 7 years next month.
7 years next month. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Marcus, what's changed in the time you got started?
What's changed in 4 years, you mean?
Yeah.
Not a whole lot. I mean, social media's kicked up a lot. I guess using Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff a little bit more to promo, but
Okay.
I don't know that that's any different than it was 4 years ago. But for me, what's changed is making very little money instead of no money. So that's great.
Very little. It's a goal. It's a life goal. Jonathan, what do you think's changed since you started?
In the world or in my act?
In comedy, in the world, in gigs, whatever you want to tell me.
The internet, I guess, would be a big change. More people, I don't know. That just seems like a canned answer.
Yeah, that's cool. What's changed since you got started, Jay?
Not the pay, that's for sure.
You know what's hilarious? Now, you say it as a joke.
Yeah.
I've done 7 of these interviews, and 5 people have said not the money. And these are people that's going back 30 years.
Yeah, that's,
so,
it's all the same.
We're not going to get a raise, boys.
I'll tell you what has changed. A lot of the guys coming up, the shock humor is a big thing. People think they can just say things that's horrific and offensive and think that it's going to get a laugh just because it's a horrible thing to say.
Yeah. Like calling a college girl a lesbian right in front of all her classmates or something.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Like
okay.
I would never do anything like that.
That's what I love about you. It's your clean Christian comedy.
Well, it's I do believe in a higher power. I mean, are you going to fault me for that?
No, sir, I'm not.
I think its higher power is Percocet, but I could be wrong.
I've had high power off Percocet.
Double up.
It could be the higher power of them shoes.
That could be.
I've had these some bitches since I started.
Marcus, what's the best gig you've had?
Best gig I've had was the first show I did in my hometown probably about a year and a half ago. Sold out hometown family, friends. And that's probably the best time I had was just showing them what I've been up to and all the sick stuff that was always on my mind.
Awesome. Cool. Jonathan, what do you think your best gig was? Favorite gig, best memory, don't care.
Earlier this month, I was in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. By far, I couldn't did anything wrong. It was super fun.
Hit on all 8 cylinders?
Yeah, 40 minutes, just crushed the whole time.
That's great.
It was the best gig I've done yet.
Congratulations. How about you, Jay? Best gig?
My would
best
have
memory?
to easily be the time I was at Davis Hall at Rio Grande, conference room C.
You just keep getting lucky, don't you? I don't know how you pull this stuff. You must know people.
My favorite gig is any gig you're on, buddy.
Oh, man, now we're talking.
On,
that's because I usually bring in candy. Tonight I gave him the sausage.
I do love every time we come down to Rio Grande. We have, it's not usually a huge crowd, but they're always playful and receptive.
And they're into it.
They're into it, so yeah
Now, I really appreciate the fact that they allowed Jonathan, Marcus, and myself to practice our acts in complete silence so we could get the timing down and stuff right. That was very nice of them.
Well, I put that in my rider.
You got to go ahead and let these guys practice in silence and peace.
You hold it down. I'm trying to work on some stuff.
How about the worst gig you ever had, Marcus?
The worst gig I ever had was actually a 9-hour drive down to South Carolina and perform for like 6 people who were clearly there for karaoke afterwards and had no interest in anything that anybody was going to say. So
is that right?
That one stands out as probably the worst one.
You know, and that happens. You drive for hours and hours, and you don't know what you're going to get when you get to the end.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. How about you, Jonathan? What do you think your worst gig was?
This one time I was in Rio Grande.
His best, your worst. So apparently you're on a higher plane than him. Understood.
Someone cut my time down by 30 minutes, and it didn't go well. We were in a conference room and not a theater.
Wow. Somebody cut your time down. I didn't realize that happened. I'd kill that son of a bitch. I'll tell you that right now. What do you think your worst gig was, besides trying to get in that car?
My worst gig ever would probably be the time I was at Rio Grande, Davis University. Davis Conference room C.
Yeah. And as billed.
Best of times, it was the worst of times.
And as billed, this was 5 questions with the 3 idiots. So
I got
back
a question
to you.
for you though. Why have you done this whole interview with a half-eaten sausage in your hand, man?
Because it wouldn't be polite to put it in my mouth while I'm talking. I don't know what the hell you guys do in Hurricane, West Virginia. We got goddamn manners in Ohio.
I hear you, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, Carlin.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. This has been 5 questions with Jonathan Craig, Jay Snyder, and Marcus Oglesby. You guys got anything to plug? Any websites, gigs, anything coming up?
Go Redman.
Go Redmond.
MarcusOglesby.com. Look it up. You'll be
MarcusOglesby.com. Anything, Jonathan?
John Craig Comedy on Twitter.
John Craig Comedy on Twitter. That's John, Jon Craig, and however you spell comedy.
No, it's not okay.
John Craig Comedy. Okay. And what do you got to plug?
I would just say get your ass down here to Davis Hall
Yeah.
Conference Center C.
Oh, it's on.
It's going on.
Hell yeah. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
And that was three of my favorite comedians, Jay Snyder, Jonathan Craig, and Marcus Oglesby. And Lori, who did you talk to this week?
This week I got to sit down after our show with Brian Million, Patsy B, and Phil Pointer.
And here's 5 questions with those 3 funny people.
All right, we are sitting here with Patsy B, Phil Pointer, and Brian Million. We just finished a show here at Steiner's Speakeasy. Good job tonight, guys. I appreciate you coming down and being funny for me.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. We are recording this from Steiner's Speakeasy, so we'll just start here. We normally call it 5 questions. We're just going to sit there and chit-chat, though. I've got 3 experienced comics here with me. I'm just going to toss it out there. Anybody else can start. How did you guys get your start in comedy? Phil, you want to go first?
I started trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life one day and got out a notebook and found myself writing a bunch of jokes instead of ideas. So I just decided to give it a try.
You try kind of to cover up the pain. That's usually what we do, yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Patsy, how'd you get your start?
In 1995, I had a closed head brain injury. In 2006, I stepped on stage to try comedy to see if my brain was fixed.
Nice, really, and it worked. Apparently, it was fixed. It was fixed. How about you, Brian? How'd you get your start?
Jesus called me. Jesus called me to the altar. He handed me the microphone, and it was on from there. I felt the light. I'm doing Jesus' word.
You got a collection plate we're gonna pass around during this, or what?
I have a collection plate and everything. And yes, I'll take money that folds. I'll take the coins. I have a square for the credit card.
How long you guys been doing comedy, Phil?
First joke ever was like 2003, but seriously progressing in the last 2 years.
How about you, Patsy?
Almost 9 years.
9 years, Brian?
I started in the 90s.
In the 90s?
In the 90s.
Really? Yeah.
Def Jam, the whole BET, whole
nice,
thing. Yeah,
nice.
That's when I started.
So, Phil, based on your past year's experience, what do you think has been the biggest change in comedy? As far as you're from the Cincinnati area?
Yes.
How has the Cincinnati area changed in comedy in the past years?
In the past couple of years, there has sprung up a lot of new comics. Has gotten a lot deeper in the area, a lot more supportive of real big boom and open mics and places that comedians can work on their art. That's one of the biggest changes that I've seen.
Big change. Patsy, your Columbus area, what's been the big changes in comedy in Columbus since you started?
I would say a lot more open mics, a lot more stage time. People are really hungry. They really want to progress. They want to move forward. So there's a lot of time so people can get good jokes, good material.
And Brian, since you've been on the big stages and the big shows, what have you seen change in comedy in your career so far?
In Cincinnati?
Or just in general, like any place you performed. What about comedy?
Well, the big thing is the internet. And so the social media and the ability to get out and develop your own audience, and so you have a black comic doing Jesus jokes. I need a specific audience is what I need. I ain't just going to fly with everybody. So, but yeah, no, I think the internet and social media has kind of changed the game and put more power in the comics' hands, but we have to take more responsibility for our direction. So it's a double-edged sword, but that's, I think, been the biggest change.
Do you have any favorite stages, Phil, that you've done?
Favorites. I really like the 2 clubs that we have in Cincinnati, both of them. Am I allowed to say names?
Yeah, you're allowed to say names. Sure, yeah. This is internet radio. Nobody really listens to this shit. So go ahead, yeah.
Funny Bone and Go Bananas, both. I think they're both great rooms. There's a bunch of open mics. One of my favorites is Thompson House, ran by Jay Armstrong.
Yeah, Jay's been a show copy.
Yeah, so, but there's been just a lot of fun stages.
A lot of fun stages. How about you, Patsy?
Funny Bone, Cincinnati Go Bananas.
Yeah.
And Shane's Dinner Theater.
Of course, great. Shane's Dinner Theater. Yeah, We'll take a minute to give Patsy a shout out. Patsy runs a show in Columbus once a month at Shane's, and you bring in a lot of different comics. Patsy, what do you look for when you are trying to figure out a comic to bring into your show? You got any criteria that you actually look for with that? Or?
Authentic, original, new to our scene, maybe they've never been in town. So just really that authenticity.
Yeah, Brian and I got to do your show in January. That's when I first met Brian.
Great show.
Great show. Brian, on all the years you've been doing comedy, what's some of your favorite stages you performed on?
Well, Go Bananas, because they're there and I'm trying to get booked. So, hey, holla at your Go Bananas, boy. the Funny Bone with the contest that I was fortunate enough to win. And Dave Troop, if you listen, go ahead and book you, boys. But outside of the area that I'm in, Zanies in Chicago, downtown, is amazing. It's an amazing club with a lot of history, low ceilings, the intimate atmosphere. I love that club.
Love that club. Yes, Brian was
Bert
also
Haas. Yeah.
What
Bert Haas? He's the general manager of the Zanies.
We're still trying to get booked here.
Shout out to Zanies. I'm giving the shout out to Zanies. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, let you know, folks. Brian was the 2014 fall winner of the Columbus Funny Bone Talent Search. So
yes.
Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very fortunate. A lot of talented people. Just fortunate enough to win. Is that what you're supposed to say?
Yeah, you're supposed to say that. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll throw this out to the group. What are some things you guys have seen up-and-coming comics do here the past few years that you would not tell up-and-coming comics to do? As far as, we've all been there. Phil and I have done this contest. We know about the bad. What would you say something that you would tell a comic not to do coming up?
I just did Laugh Fest up in Michigan, and there seems to be a big attraction to just one-liners. And it's like people are trying so hard to do the one-liners that it's just coming out as complete garbage.
Yeah.
And I would say that if you're going to do one-liners, get a couple in, but try to do longer bits as well. That's just my thought.
Yeah, so I feel like they're trying to go with that laughs per minute thing, and sometimes you got to set up that laughs per minute.
Yeah, the last good one-liner person I saw was Mitch Hedberg, and
exactly,
outside, like everybody's trying to be him.
Yeah, everybody's still trying to Mitch. Patsy, how about you?
Comics. I think the bottom line is if you run a show or you're booking people, that's probably a real good set of experience because you're going to really learn the business because this is show business. And no venue, no place can stay open unless they're making money.
Sure.
So, if you can respect the business part of it, everything else is going to fall into place.
Brian?
I say don't drink when you get on stage.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think when you get on stage to drink, it kind of numbs it a little bit and gives you a little bit more courage, but you also miss where you can improve. So the turns or the jokes, and you're just not in it the way that you would be if you're not. So if your goal is to improve, then I would say don't drink. There's many things, but I think that's probably one of the biggest, that if you're trying to improve, alcohol is not going to help you. So don't drink.
I know my first year I thought I had to be drunk to be on stage, just to have
I
courage.
did too.
And then after that, you're like, shit, what I say that last show that everybody laughed at. You can't remember.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't remember what you said. So, Patsy you've already shot your documentary, correct?
Yes.
Called Stand Up or Fall Down. And where did you got most of your footage, in the Columbus area for that, or?
Columbus, Dayton, and then I followed comics around the features in it. And I have footage really all over the state.
What was your inspiration to do this documentary, Patsy? What sparked? What made you say, hey, I want to shoot a documentary about comics?
Because I think the bottom line is nobody knows what we go through to be a stand-up comic, and we're just at the bottom of this whole process, right? We're just beginners. We're babies. So how do we write a joke? How do we test a joke? What do we go through? We die on stage. We kill on stage. We get ignored, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So all of those things, you're going to see those in the documentary, the pain of it all.
When is your target? When are you? I know you. Last time I told you were editing the documentary.
Yes, we're in the final stage, the last edit of the film.
Are you going to be debuting this anywhere that
Yes,
listeners can find it?
Yes, it'll be in Columbus, but first we're going to send it to film festivals. And so if there's any recognition or good things that come from it, we'll come back and have a premiere in Columbus, probably at the Gateway Theater.
Great. Maybe we can get some recordings up there and we can put that on air. We always talk about like your worst moment on stage. We like to talk to comics about that. God knows we've all had them. But Phil, was there that one moment when you were like, man, maybe I shouldn't be doing comedy? Have you ever had one of those?
I've had plenty of those, and Brian has been witness to quite a few of those, where I have literally sucked the oxygen, much less the laughter, out of the room. There's no one definitive. There was just a period of time where I'd kind of plateaued, and it was just like it wasn't funny anymore, and the crowd was not with me.
What made you say, hey, I'm still going to keep doing it? Was that a drive to be a comic? Was that your goal to keep going?
Pretty much. I mean, it was just the fact that it was something that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it was at that point when I started to actually open my ears and listen to people who had more experience than me, who had very good advice to offer, and it just really helped me get better. Again, Brian being one of them.
Yeah. So I think sometimes I never was one of those comics, but I always I always enjoyed working with comics that have been in the game for a while. There's always something you can learn. And I just think those guys that don't want to listen are the ones that we leave behind. You know, and unfortunately they could have a lot of funny stuff, but if they don't learn how to get it out there, then you're never going to be as funny as you can be. So, exactly. Patsy, if you ever had one of them, like, oh my holy Jesus moments on stage, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and it wasn't so much that the audience was the problem, it was me, and that I was melting down. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know? And then I'm just imploding, and I can just feel, you know, the silence in the room and people just looking at me. And so by the time I get off stage, I'm just sitting and I'm pouting off stage, you know? And then I'm like more determined. It took me like 3 days to think about what did I do? How did, you know, what happened? How can I fix it? And so it made me more determined though. It was like feeling all that pain and suffering made me say, okay, I have to do better at this. I have to try again. And that's what it is sometimes. It's about suffering and figuring it out and fixing it.
Yeah, and determination. How about you, Brian?
Well, I have two real quick. The first was years ago, back in the night when I started, and we had done the Def Jam and a lot of the other stuff, and I didn't do bar shows. This show that we did tonight, I didn't do until 4 years ago. I didn't do it because the comedy clubs were there.
Right.
So I took a break, but I went to Miami University, and I thought I was hot shit because everybody, when you go to comedy clubs, that's the best place to get people to laugh or whatever. That's what they're expected. Well, you go out and do shows like this, you have to be funny.
Yeah.
You can't just go out and wing it. Whereas the comedy clubs, stuff that shouldn't be laughed at, they laugh. So I did it. My sister put on or invited me there. She was the president of her sorority. So I was this big guy coming in. I demanded smoke. When I walk out, the steam music, the whole, and the setup was horrible, and it just bombed. I ate it bad. And then I got mad at the audience. They told me I wasn't funny. I was like, you ain't funny. And it was, this is in the middle of the act. It was horrible. It was horrible. I pulled my car up to the door. I had like the gold on the rims. The door was open like I was, my hat, oh, it was bad. And I walked out and like, oh my, I felt like I embarrassed her. And, so, and then the other one was actually 2.5 years ago, no, 3, this month. March 3, I performed with Bill Bellamy at the Cincinnati Funny Bone. And I mean, literally, I might have said hello. And it was like, boo! You raggedy, who is this? Boo! And it was so bad. And Bill said, I bet you was crying so much when you got in the car, the windshield wipers just came on. It was horrible. It was bad. But what happened, the good thing from that was that I played it over my head. I was actually leaving Cincinnati to go to the DC Improv to do a showcase. The night before was when I got booed off stage, literally, like off stage, like a sold out. Bill Bellamy, first time he saw me, and booed off stage. And I listened to it and I tried to find out why I did. And there was a lot of things, like Patsy said, that it was with me. It wasn't the crowd, it was me. It was what I was doing, the clothes I wore. I was intimidated by the set. So you have to claim that stage. It has to be your stage. And so I was intimidated by Bill and all this other stuff. And so the triumph was 18 months later, I killed at the Schaumburg Improv with him. He brought me back up, destroyed, and I started doing part of the Ladies Night Out tour.
Nice.
After doing it. So that was the triumph to come back to that. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
We like to end every interview. We like to ask if you could give one piece of advice to an up-and-coming comic with all your experience and all the things we talked about of what went wrong and what went right. What would you tell an up-and-coming comic the main thing they need to work on? Phil, go.
The one thing I would tell an up-and-coming comic is stage time, stage time, stage time. Every bit of every second, every moment you can get up there is the only way you're going to get better, and it's the only way you're going to know what works and what doesn't.
Patsy?
Write. Edit, test. Right.
There we go. And Brian?
I would have said both of those things because those are the primary things, but leaving something different, I would say be nice. Don't be a jerk. People in comedy, it's a community, and they work with who they like working with, their friends. You're not the shit. Can I say shit?
Oh, yeah, you can say shit.
You're not the shit. No matter how bad you think that you are, you're not. Always be humble. The more you know, the more you realize what you don't know. So be nice to people. Be humble. That'll carry you a long way.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Phil Pointer, Patsy B, and Brian Million coming to you from Steiner Speakeasy.
Okay.
And I want to give a shout out real quick to Brian. And Brian, what's your podcast? What are we doing with it?
It's the Credit Rescue Podcast. You can find me on Facebook. Just like the page, and it'll tell you the release date. We're releasing next month. It's helping you with the credit, and it's going to be funny.
And everybody else here also is on Twitter, Facebook. Just search their names. You can find them. And thank you very much, you guys, for the great show tonight.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yay, yay, yay. And this is the Lori and Carlin Show on GoneRogueRadio.com. And that was my 5 questions with Phil Pointer, Patsy B, and Brian Million. And finally, here at the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen, we have the lovely and talented bartender extraordinaire, Mr. Bradley Javelin, here with us.
Oh, give it up for Bradley.
How are you tonight,
I'm
Bradley?
so excellent, much better now.
Yes, Bradley's been serving us our Loudux. Bradley is a Chillicothe native.
Yes.
Bradley, give us a little bit of background about yourself here in Chillicothe. What were you doing? Where are you from?
Born and raised, graduated from CHS in 03. Left here as quick as possible for school and fell in love with the city.
You spent a lot of time in New York. What did you do up there?
Theater all day long, tons for 8 years. For 3 years, we had a company in Lower Manhattan doing extensive off-Broadway work, mostly new work, which was fun. Growing up in Ohio, you think of theater as like your cousin's production of like Oklahoma. So it was really nice to see that there are brand new forms of theater.
You know, I just learned tonight that you've got an extensive theater background, and I never realized that. But it's funny because your gestures and mannerisms, you're always bigger than the room. You play to the entire room.
Yes.
And you're not a quiet, shy, retiring type. I mean, you're always projecting to the whole room. And
there's a theater expression that says we play to the back row, but I play to the phone booth down the street on the corner.
Yes, he does. Yes, that's why I call him the diva, Bradley Javelin. Yes.
Well, that is awesome.
Yes.
Because, like 2 weeks ago in Marietta, I don't know about you, but I played to the first 4 rows, and those idiots in the back that were talking, they could have their own show.
Yeah, sometimes in comedy you only play to the people that are actually looking at you. So that's usually like the first 3 rows. So maybe we should remember that. Play to the back.
Play to the back of the room.
Back of the room. We should remember that. We should do that, especially you, Carlin.
It's a
sometimes
learning
they
experience.
don't laugh at you.
They never laugh at me.
Yeah,
I don't care. My checks still get cashed. So screw it.
Exactly. So you did about 8 years up there. You do choreography and stuff. Is that what you were?
A lot of dance, which is funny because we're now in this industry of bar world that takes so much more out of our bodies than dance does, and I don't think that people realize how much work goes into what we do here.
No, because I bartended for 20 years, and I have bartended for 3 years full time. I did that function at Flagey Saturday. I was on my feet for 7 hours, and today I am still hurting. I thought, my God, I used to do this 6 nights a week,
every night,
10 hours a day. I was on my feet hustling, and when you get out of practice, people don't realize physical, emotional journey to be a bartender. It really is. So, and Bradley does it very well.
Oh, seamless.
Bradley, if you've ever having a bad day, come to Steiner Speakeasy, and Bradley will snap you right up out of it. Now, what brought you something special to your heart? Brought you back to Chillicothe? What was that?
That is absolutely true. My younger sister is here in the towns. They're small families. My sister has a child that I am extremely fortunate to see every day, to be in the life of, to see.
Yeah, so you actually kind of gave up your New York life to come back here and help her with the baby,
Absolutely.
didn't you? Yeah, so, which is very admirable.
And incredibly selfish, I guarantee. I, at some point, will have a child, and this has been amazing training wheels.
Now, you also have another little career that you do.
I do.
And that would be you do some drag,
don't you? Drag.
Yes.
I'm learning about drag. It's pretty awesome.
I'm taking a break. I was at a club, working in an environment that was maybe not filling me the best. And for the first time, I don't know what the next step is with that juncture of the career, and I think that's the most exciting thing.
Yes. What was your drag name? Do you have one name, or do you have some? Because I know they're always fun.
There's always characters. There's always a lot.
Yeah. What's your favorite character name you've played with?
A friend of mine, actually, in drag community, you typically don't name yourself. You are named. Someone names you.
I didn't know that.
And they come from
just like the biker community. You can't name yourself.
Okay.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I didn't know that either.
They come from all kinds of places. One of my friends who thinks she's a little bougie, thinks that she can use words correctly. Used in a sentence my drag name, which was she said, "Oh, she's being bougie. She thinks she's a luscious." So I thought, oh, Aluxious, bitch, we struck gold.
Aluxious. Oh, that's so great.
So
That's so great.
we've been Aluxious Azalea for the past year.
Yes.
Wow.
Iggy's younger sister.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I feel like much like what you're doing, everything is by way of online content now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that bridge between like theater and filmed.
Yeah,
I don't know what that-
maybe we need to get you like a drag channel maybe on the internet, and you could do shows. We could do the New York Steiners.
I'm good with
Can
that.
I ask a couple questions? It shows my ignorance
Go,
and
dude.
lack of intelligence.
You do that every day.
I
Carlin.
certainly do. Well, just I don't know about this. This is brand new to me, so I'm going to ask. And please don't take it wrong.
No.
Are drag performers mainly homosexuals?
Yes, I think exclusively so. I mean, I don't want to speak for a community.
Sure. Speak for the whole entire drag community.
I don't know.
How I understand it is a straight man that wears women's clothing is a transvestite.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
A gay man that puts on women's clothing is a drag queen. I think the straight man in clothing, homosexual.
Okay,
there
sure.
tends to be like
Sure.
a fetish
But
there.
the drag performance, that's performance. That's
Sure.
entertainment.
And they're amazing performances.
Sure.
If you go to a good drag show, it's one of the best things you could ever see. In
Go
life.
to New Orleans Sunday morning, the drag brunch. It
that
is
sounds
amazing.
divine.
I'm going to tell you right now, these beautiful ladies come out and they put on this performance while you're eating breakfast, and it's just amazing. And it's New Orleans 24/7. I love it.
Well, if you pay proudly enough, he might dress up and come to your house one morning for brunch.
Thank you. It's the art that I know. If I could sketch, I would, but I know
Right.
I know how to
That's
sit on
how
my
you express yourself.
I know. 'Cause I've had, you're my friend. I have a lot of drag queen friends. I know
Sure.
people don't realize what, as a man, it takes you to go through to transform into these beautiful women. I mean, you'll see this
Well,
plain.
you've got a beard, and you've got that.
Sure.
But you'll see this guy walking down the street that you don't know he's a drag queen, and he's in full face makeup, wig, perfect eyebrows, boot, the whole 9 yards. People don't get how much you guys. How long does it take you to get ready for a show?
Anywhere between, it depends on what you're trying to go for. 30 minutes for busted, 3 hours for crusted. I mean, it depends on how body takes about the longest. I cinch in and pad out. She takes about 3 hours. And I say she because when I look in the mirror, there is nothing of him.
Do you see she? Yeah, you see. Yeah.
He walks into a club, she shuts back in the car and goes
So,
home.
what is it? Aluxious? Is that her name?
Aluxious.
Aluxious. You see Aluxious when you.
Yes.
Which you would because that's the character you're putting yourself
There's
into.
nothing identifiable me.
No, I mean it's like acting. You're acting this part.
Do you have pictures of Aluxious?
Sure. I keep everything pretty well documented for me.
Agree with us putting like a picture up on our radio show.
I'm fine with
website.
that.
Oh, we'll do that, ladies and gentlemen. We will put a picture up of Riley
Aluxious
Jadwin, aka Aluxious Azalea, for you on Gone Rogue, so you can see who we're talking to and you're this great person that we've introduced you to.
awesome.
I
He
think
is
we
awesome.
have some cool pictures to pull from. A couple years ago, we did an event where I was able to sing period 20s. Sing period sounds good. I was able
You
to
can only
sing
do it 4 days a month, but
1920s period music in full drag with the band.
Fun.
Cool.
I think that would be something fun for us to
Awesome for our people to see.
I
Yes.
saw the world's worst cross-dresser in New Orleans on the street, on Bourbon Street. And
Are you sure this wasn't a real drunk person?
no,
Like,
this was a. This
my father
was,
apologized.
Well, this one was bad. And this standing outside a bar, get a picture with a drag queen, $5. Stop it.
That's horrible.
Stop it. I mean, it was bad. And I'm telling you, it was disgusting. It was gross.
Well,
It was
Bradley,
nothing
we
nice
know
about
you
it.
are here at work. We don't take up any more of your
Yes.
time because you are trying to make money, make your mayor. But we do want to give you a thank you so much. Oh, Nancy, you can say hi. We're doing our radio show. Say hi, Nancy.
Hi, Nancy.
You don't know what I would have said. Hello.
You said
No,
whatever
this is
you
the
like.
lovely Nancy King. She's
We're
stopped
on the
by.
internet.
Yeah,
There's
we're
no
it's
worries.
internet radio, Nancy. Don't worry about it. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, it's internet.
Are you having fun at Steiner's?
Nancy is a supporter of local comedy here in Chillicothe, by the way. We
God
love her, and
bless
she
Nancy.
comes to shows.
I do.
So, yeah, get with her if you ever need some problems taken care of. She's your girl.
Yeah, I do probate work, so.
Yeah, probate, folks, probate. There you go. There you go.
I'm gonna need one of your cards for later. I'm feeling good about the trip home. That is awesome.
Yeah, nice to meet you all.
Very nice to
Yes,
meet you.
and they say hi back to you, Nancy. They say
Thank
hi
you.
back to you.
Thank you. I just was going to say, do you want to speak to... What we used to say when people were on microphone or acting like they had a microphone? Something like, you want to speak to people overseas?
Yeah, you're overseas, yeah.
That's what I wanted to say.
Well, do you want to say that? Go ahead right
Yes,
now.
I want to speak to people overseas.
There you go. That
Good
was the
night.
lovely Nancy King.
Good night,
ladies
Mr.
and
and
gentlemen.
Mrs. America and all the ships at sea. Remember
Yeah,
that
there
one?
you go, yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm older than you. I know this stuff.
Oh, I gotta go home on that one. That's about it.
All right, Nancy,
Good
be
night,
careful.
Nancy. Be safe.
All right. And I appreciated what you had to say about the Majestic, although I just think they were narrow-minded and just didn't see.
Thank you, Nancy.
Didn't see, but I appreciated your point of view.
Thank you very much.
Thank
I
you very
appreciate
much.
you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Drive safe.
But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up for this week's show. Again, we want to thank the lovely Bradley Jablin for speaking to us here. You can come see Bradley at Steiner's Speakeasy here at 31 South Paint Street in Chillicothe, Ohio. We are coming to you from GoneRogueRadio.com. Carlin, do you have anything else to add this week?
Please send us emails to the lncshow@yahoo.com. What music are we going out to?
We're going to go out to the lovely Brian Day once again. And I think I have chose Rocking Horse this week for us to go out to with him.
Take it away, Brian Day.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's coming to you from GoneRogueRadio.com.
It's about my grandpa. It's pretty straightforward if you read along. Down out the day I lost my grandpa, but a kiss from his wife was long overdue. I can't think of a better way that he should get there than the rocking horse he built me when I was 2. Come on and take this one ride, forced right up to heaven's gate. Tell the angels that they'll have to wait for me. Well, this rocking horse can't ride without my babe. One way to miss you, there's another way to never forget you. My rocking horse will keep on rocking. My rocking horse will keep on rocking. My rocking horse will keep on rocking for you. The best way to stick it to all the haters is to live like you never lost. But we all have, it's also never sad. Going through the years, we lost track of the tears and missing. Oh God, does he play guitar? And now I'll see you soon to then his rocking horse will do. My rocking horse will keep on rocking. My rocking horse will keep on rocking. My rocking horse will keep on rocking. A rocking horse will keep on rocking. A rocking horse will keep on rocking for you. My rocking horse will keep on rocking. My rocking horse will keep on rocking. My rocking horse will keep on rocking for you. And the angels will wait for me. This rocking horse, it needs my faith. The angels will wait for me. This rocking horse, it needs my faith. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thanks. This next tune is the title track of Yo Like Maybe's last CD. I think Lori likes it. Yes. Yes, I do. Thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, you're all good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon. I wrote this song. You know what, Lori? I wish I had a better story. I don't. Okay. No, what it was about is the drummer PJ and his girlfriend broke up, and I was like, well, there goes the band.
pretty much. And I was thinking to myself, you know, about if they would get back together, the band would stay together, or should bring the band back. That's a basic idea.
The whiskey's gone, so I am home, but I can't drink enough to get a dial tone. To speak to the woman who lives next door. For 7 long months she's lived on my floor, so I stare back, I'm under attack. Between my own 2 ears, as a matter of fact, I know there's a course who lives next door. 7 long months of trying to ignore this room. When chest goes boom, that's the only sound in this empty room. But you got that song to bring the band on back and move us all along. And now my chest goes boom, and it's the only sound in this empty room. But now you got that song to bring the band on back and move us all along. And now soon, baby, soon, you'll be over by then, I'm here by noon. And now you got that song to bring the band on back and move us all along. The whiskey's gone, so I am home, and I just drink enough to get a dial tone. I spoke to the woman who lives next door. For 7 long months she's lived on my floor, so I